Something very strange is happening to the internet. For years, artificial intelligence waited for us to give it a prompt. You opened ChatGPT, you asked a question, it gave you an answer. Simple. But that era is ending. The new generation of AI doesn't just answer questions. It opens websites, it writes code, it searches for information, it compares products, it analyzes documents, it communicates with other software, and increasingly it can complete entire tasks without you watching every step. These systems are called AI agents, and while everyone is still arguing about which chatbot is smarter, the real race has already moved somewhere else. The question is no longer which AI gives the best answer. The question is which AI can actually do the job. And that changes everything. Think about the first wave of generative AI. We were impressed because a machine could write an email, summarize an article, generate an image, or explain complicated topics. But humans were still doing most of the actual work. AI would tell you what to do. You would then open the browser, find the website, create the account, copy the information, send the message, download the file, update the spreadsheet. The intelligence was automated, the action wasn't. AI agents are trying to remove that second part. Instead of asking, find me the best flight to Tokyo, imagine saying, find a good flight to Tokyo next month, compare the best options with my calendar, stay under my budget, and prepare everything for booking. Now AI needs to reason through multiple steps, search, compare, remember your preferences, use tools, correct mistakes, and eventually return with a completed result. That sounds like a small difference. It isn't. It's the difference between a calculator and an employee. And this is exactly why almost every major AI company is racing toward agents. The newest AI models are increasingly being optimized for coding, research, and agent workflows. Companies are building systems designed to let AI operate across tools, documents, browsers, and business data. And AI agents are already moving from experiments into real workflows inside organizations. This tells us something important. The next billion-dollar AI company may not win because its chatbot sounds slightly more human. It may win because its AI can reliably work for 6 hours while another system can only work for 6 minutes. That's a completely different benchmark. Imagine an AI researcher that spends hours reading hundreds of sources, an AI developer that receives a bug report, finds the problem, changes the code, runs the tests, and prepares the update, or an AI sales assistant that researches companies, finds potential customers, personalizes outreach, and organizes the responses. Those aren't science fiction concepts anymore. We are watching the early versions being built right now. And once these systems become reliable enough, businesses are going to ask a very uncomfortable question. If an AI can perform the workflow, how many humans does the workflow actually need? But jobs are only part of the story. Agents could change the architecture of the internet itself. Today, websites are designed for humans. Beautiful buttons, menus, product pages, advertisements, search results. But an AI agent doesn't care whether your website has a beautiful animation. It wants structured information. Price, availability, specifications, reviews, payment options, delivery time, and then it makes a decision. Imagine millions of people no longer visiting 10 websites to compare laptops. Their agents do it for them. Millions of people stop searching through 20 hotel pages. Their agents compare the options. Instead of humans browsing the internet, software begins browsing the internet on behalf of humans. And if that happens at scale, something fascinating happens. Companies may stop optimizing websites only for humans. They will start optimizing them for machines. We spent decades learning SEO. How do I rank for a human search? The next question could be, how do I convince someone's AI agent to choose my product? And now we reach the part that should make everyone pay attention. To be useful, an agent needs permissions. A normal chatbot can suggest an email. An agent needs permission to send it. A chatbot can recommend a purchase. An agent may need access to your payment method. A chatbot can explain how to change code. A coding agent may actually change the code. More capability means more access, and more access means more risk. This is where the problem becomes much more serious. A system doesn't need to become conscious to cause damage. It only needs 3 things: a goal, enough capability, and the wrong permissions. Imagine an AI agent that misunderstands an instruction, or one that receives malicious information from a website, or one that has access to systems it was never supposed to control. If that agent can send emails, modify files, execute code, or make purchases, a small mistake can suddenly become a very large problem. And that might become one of the biggest technology challenges of the next decade. This is also where movies may have completely confused us. For decades, science fiction told us to watch for the moment AI becomes conscious. Maybe that's the wrong moment. A spam algorithm isn't conscious. A recommendation algorithm isn't conscious. A trading algorithm isn't conscious, yet algorithms already influence what billions of people watch, buy, and believe. Now give a much more intelligent system the ability to reason, use a browser, write software, and communicate with other systems. The interesting question isn't, does it feel alive? The interesting question is, how much of the world can it affect? Think about a corporation. A corporation isn't one conscious brain. It's thousands of people, software systems, procedures, and automated decisions working toward objectives. An advanced network of AI agents could begin to look surprisingly similar. One agent researches, another writes, another checks the work, another talks to customers, another analyzes the results, another changes the strategy. No robot body required, no glowing red eyes, just software, running continuously. So does this mean AI is about to take everyone's job? Probably not in the simple way people imagine. Technology usually doesn't erase an entire profession overnight. It changes the economics of the profession. One person with powerful tools suddenly produces the work that previously required three people. A small company begins operating like a large company. A developer builds products that once required a team. A creator runs research, translation, editing, analytics, and distribution with AI assistance. And then competition forces everyone else to adapt. That's why the most vulnerable people may not necessarily be those working in one specific profession. The bigger risk is being a person who continues working exactly the same way while everyone around them becomes dramatically more productive. The advantage might belong to people who learn how to manage AI, not compete with it. How do you give an agent a goal? How do you give it context? How do you verify the result? How do you decide what it is allowed to access? How do you connect multiple agents into one workflow? Those may become ordinary professional skills surprisingly quickly. Using AI could become as normal as using Google or Excel, except the difference is that Excel waits for you. An agent works. This is why I think we're entering a second AI revolution. The first revolution was about generation. Generate text, generate images, generate music, generate video. The second revolution is about execution. Research this, build this, analyze this, fix this. Contact them, organize this, monitor this, finish this. The first era gave humans unlimited content. The second could give humans something much more valuable, digital labor. And once intelligence becomes labor, the economics become enormous. Every company on Earth contains tasks that are repetitive, digital, and expensive. AI companies want agents to perform more and more of those tasks. And unlike human employees, software can potentially be copied almost instantly. If someone builds an excellent AI accountant, researcher, developer, or customer support agent, millions of copies could theoretically operate at the same time. That is why the race is moving so fast. They aren't simply building better chatbots, they're trying to build a new layer of the global workforce. And this could also completely change how companies are created. Imagine starting a business with 5 AI agents instead of 5 employees. One handles research, one handles marketing. One writes code, one analyzes customers, one manages support. You are still making the important decisions, but the amount of work one person can control becomes dramatically larger. That could create a new generation of incredibly small companies generating enormous amounts of revenue. A company worth millions might consist of 2 humans and 50 AI agents, and that sounds crazy until you remember how much technology has already changed the size of teams. A YouTube creator today can reach millions of people with tools that would once have required an entire television studio. A developer can launch a global software product from a laptop. AI agents could push this idea much further. The most successful companies of the future might not necessarily have the largest teams. They may have the best systems. But there is another side to this. If everyone has access to AI agents, then simply having AI won't give you an advantage. Knowing what to do with it will. Ideas become more important. Taste becomes more important. Judgment becomes more important. Knowing which problems are worth solving becomes more important. Because if everyone can generate content, writing another article isn't special. If everyone can generate code, producing code isn't special. If everyone can automate basic tasks, automation itself isn't special. The scarce resource becomes direction. What should the system build? What should it ignore? What should it optimize for? Where should humans remain in control? That might become the real skill of the AI era. Not prompting, not typing faster, not memorizing every new AI tool, but learning how to direct intelligence. So when people ask me, what will AI look like in 5 years? I don't imagine everyone sitting in front of a chatbot and typing better prompts. I imagine something much less visible. You wake up, and several agents have already been working. One organized your schedule, another summarized information relevant to your business, another discovered a problem in a project, another prepared possible solutions, another filtered your inbox. Maybe another agent has been communicating with someone else's agent while both humans were asleep. The interface could almost disappear. You wouldn't use AI. You would simply tell your digital systems what outcome you want, and they would attempt to make it happen. That's incredibly exciting and potentially dangerous. Because for the first time, we're not only teaching machines how to think about our world, we're giving them tools that allow them to act inside it. The biggest AI story of the next few years may not be artificial intelligence becoming conscious. It may be something much simpler. Artificial intelligence becoming useful enough that we willingly give it access to everything: our emails, our files, our businesses, our communication. And once AI has access to those systems, the relationship between humans and computers changes completely. For decades, computers were tools. You clicked the button. You wrote the command, you made the decision. The computer executed it. But agents introduce a new model. You provide the goal. The machine figures out the steps. That may sound like a subtle change, but it could become one of the most important technological shifts of our lifetime. Because when machines can decide how to complete tasks, the internet stops being just a place where humans use software. It becomes an environment where software itself operates. Machines researching for humans, machines negotiating with machines, machines writing software for other machines, machines making millions of small decisions every second, and humans sitting one level above all of it, deciding what they actually want. Maybe that future is 5 years away. Maybe parts of it arrive much sooner. But one thing already seems clear. The age of simply talking to AI is beginning to evolve into something else. AI is starting to act. And when that transition is complete, the internet won't just be used by humans anymore. It will be used by machines working for them. And the real question is, are we actually ready for that?